Thank you, thank you. I am so honored to be here at today's Success from Stories seminar. And by now we've realized that there are some potholes in the road to success. And my talk today is going to be a little bit on what do you do when life chews you up, spits you out, and leaves you for dead, face down in the gutter. What do you do? The story I'm going to share with you today that answered that question for me is this story about a little girl, a big amusement park ride, and a surprising human spirit. About 4 months ago, my family and I went to an amusement park in upstate New York, and they did indoor water park. And in this indoor water park, they had this really great ride. It was called the Boogie Board Surfboarding Ride. It was a huge, powerful ride. Calling this a ride is like calling a bar fight a ride. This ride, they shot thousands of gallons of water a minute up to form a 10-foot high wave of water that was 24 feet wide. And the way you got on this ride is you walked up a ramp onto the top of the wave, and there's a platform up there. And the gatekeeper asked you if you were ready, handed you a little boogie board, and you walked to the edge, and you jumped onto the ride, and you held on, and you rode down this ride and hold it for as long as you could. And it was cool, because what kept you on this ride, there was no time limit. What decided how long you were on this ride was your skill, your determination, and your luck. Eventually, that would run out, and the ride would take you, flip you over, switch you up over the top, and smash you, bang, down onto the platform up on top. And sometimes it hurt. I know, I went on this ride a bunch of times. The other cool thing about this ride was after you crashed on the top and you got yourself up and limped over and walked over, the gatekeeper would ask, would you like to go again? They always gave you a second chance. And a lot of people said, no, oh, gee, this ride hurts too much. It's too big, it's too powerful. I'm not going. But it was a great ride. So later in the afternoon, I was in line for this ride, and up near the front of the line, I noticed, was this little girl about this big. So the little girl had brown, straight brown hair, a one-piece brown bathing suit, and she just sort of sat there, stood there waiting in line, her turn. And I'm thinking, this girl's too small for this. This ride is much too powerful, much too big for this little girl. I was scared. The people in line felt we were scared for her. And I said, the gatekeeper's never going to let her go on this ride. But as it came to her turn, we went up, and she went up to the gatekeeper, looked at him, and the gatekeeper said, are you ready? She said, yes. And we were stunned. And she went over to it, and she went over and looked at the top of the wave with all the water and the power coming to this, and she jumped on. And she slid down, and she rode this ride. She rode it, and water's flying, and things are going, her hairs are going, and she really gave it everything she got. But at some point, her luck, her determination, her skill ran out, and of course, it took her and flipped her over, and it really flipped her up high, and really flipped her up high, and really wham, down, really hard. Everybody in line gasped, like, what's going to happen? And for like an eternity, nothing happened. We couldn't see up there, couldn't see up. So we were looking at the gatekeeper. And the gatekeeper stood there very calmly waiting because he could see. And we're waiting what happened. And what seemed like an eternity, we see this little girl get up, climb up, and she coughed. She cleared the hair from her eyes. She adjusted her bathing suit. And she made her way over to the gatekeeper and looked up at him. And the gatekeeper asked, like he asks everybody, would you like to go again? And she looked up and went, yes. She said yes. It was beautiful. And she jumped right back onto the ride and rode it again and again and again. This story for me is a perfect example of what I can do and what we can do in our lives. First, when we see our dreams, our goals, our life from the distance, it's going to be big. It's going to be powerful. It's going to be really attractive. It's going to be gorgeous. You go, I want that. As we get closer and closer and closer, it's going to look very powerful, and we may feel very, very small as we stand next to this. Something's going to ask, are you ready? And at that time, take the board, and you're going to jump in head first. You have to jump head first to your dreams and ride it and give it everything you've got. Ride it for as long as you can, and at some point when your skill, your determination, your luck does run out, because it will. In life, your dreams, your goals flips you up and throws you over and slams you into the gutter. Remember that little girl. Pick yourself up. Take a breath. Clear your vision. Adjust your posture. Walk up to the gatekeeper. And when he says, would you like to go again? Say yes. Say yes and do it over and over. Jump back into your life, your dreams, your goal every single time. Because, my friends, this is the ride of your life. Thank you.